Brian is still in flat something. I don't know.
North Platte. I had to
Platte,
think about
Platte,
it.
Platte, Platte. Is it
Nebraska.
Nebraska? North Platte, Nebraska. Is it a big city?
It is not. It is a pretty small city. It's big enough that it's got one of all the things you'd expect. All the fast foods are here. A
Right.
handful of the chain restaurants are here, the Walmarts, the Starbucks, all that. But it's a pretty quiet place. There's one, I think it's a 4-stall 150 kilowatt charger. It might be a 6-stall or something, but it's got coverage.
Okay. All right. More than one stoplight.
Oh yeah, much bigger than that.
Okay. All right. Brian, we are going to do what we have famously done many, many times before. We're going to go around the world and see what you know that I don't, or maybe sometimes I already will know, but it's okay. You can tell me anyway. Where shall we start? Berlin. Let's start with Berlin. Why not?
Let's as you know, whenever we do these videos, whenever we go all around the world, we've got bad news to share, but we also have good news.
Oh,
This week, not much bad news. Berlin, not a lot of news to share at all. Less than a month ago, it was announced they were doing another round of hiring. That's encouraging.
yes.
So if we're talking about production, Norway, now the Model Y is the number one selling car this year, which is pretty good for a company that's circling the drain and doomed. And the next stop on the shareholder express is $50 a share.
So overall, through the month of May,
Through May.
through May, it's the number one selling car in Norway. Okay.
And actually, I think the Norway numbers might include part of June, because for much of Europe, you get registration data daily. So it may be in June that it finally took the top spot.
Got it.
And that's with a lot of fierce competition from a lot of there's a gentleman in my comments who loves to tell me that EVs are dead. Even Germany is getting rid of them. And I say, German EV sales are up sharply, like strong double-digit increase in EV sales. But you don't see big waves because it's spread out over a bunch of dozens of models.
Yeah.
They don't really call them EVs anymore. They just call them cars. That's how common they've gotten. So, yes, the German factory is still producing good numbers, and somebody is still buying them.
Yeah. Well, that'll be good. I'm hoping that we see that in the numbers a couple of weeks on the 2nd. And that'll be lovely. Maybe we'll have a surprise.
It'll be within the margins.
So if we skip over, of course, lots and lots of stuff going on in China. What do you know about China that I don't know?
Sure. Well, as you know, the competition apparently arrived the first week of May, because there was 1 week of bad sales, to which I said, one data point does not a trend make. And as we saw after that week, it looks like they were exporting because the numbers have rebounded. The Model Y is once again the best-selling model of all cars. It might be of all SUVs, but it is the number one seller of at least one category, if not overall, in China. Well, yes, but that's because they only have 2 models for sale, effectively. S and X, much too expensive, especially with the import duties. But the 3 and Y, made domestically, are available, and the Model Y is selling. But yes, but BYD's got 42 models, and if you add them all up, they sell more. Great. Tesla doesn't have 42 models. I can't really expect them to compete at that level. If BYD had only 2 models, do you think they would outsell Tesla? Because I'm going to tell you right now, they wouldn't. They just, they can't, they don't have that kind of strength. They have strength. That's not it. But we're seeing sales in other markets. Hong Kong, I think Tesla became number 1 for the year with the Model Y. And I want to say Singapore maybe is
South
also
Korea?
ridiculous. Maybe South Korea is the one I'm thinking, where we saw the new numbers and they were eye-popping.
Yes.
So if the competition arrived May 1st, they must have just been on a layer somewhere else, because I don't know. I can't see them from my vantage point. Cars are getting good. All EVs are getting good. Tesla has been good. Tesla remains good. The big thing about Tesla is they just work. I had a chance to go to TriMet in Portland. That's the bus authority. And they've got a handful of buses, 34 buses, electric buses, all made in the US by US companies because the grant said so, which is an interesting way to kneecap the project. And Randy, I'm going to give you 10 buses for your fleet. Okay. Just regular old diesel buses. When you go out in the morning, you fire it up. What percent reliability do you expect from your fleet? Would you say if it was under 97, would you be happy?
No, not on a
Okay.
diesel. No.
No. The electrics are between 50 and 65% reliable. That, which is so, and the watt hours per mile are abysmal. Everything about them is clearly generation 0.5. It is, and I think if Tesla Semi was available as a city bus, they would dominate 100% of this market because they just plain work. And that's the advantage Tesla has, to bring this full circle. That's the advantage Tesla has with their chargers, with their cars, with kind of their everything, is it just works. You don't have to hope, you don't have to pray, you don't have to know the system and all the tricks. It just works. And that's what advantage they have in markets like South Korea, in markets like Hong Kong and China, is they just work.
So yesterday I did a video. I actually grabbed a video from a podcaster that does videos on China all the time. And she was talking about the fact that BYD to her or to her staff appears to be in significant financial difficulty. And AJ's been talking about this for a while, that their payables are 270 days. And of course, payables should be paid in about 60 to 90 days, even in China. And other companies in China that are slow with their payables are about half of BYD's. And so this puts if you change those payables into notes payable instead of accounts payable, it would put their notes payable, their total amount of debt, in a very precarious position compared to their assets. So AJ's been saying for a while now that he thinks that BYD is in a lot of trouble, and that when you're in that kind of trouble, it doesn't take much to cause you to completely go down the tubes. Are you hearing any of this from anybody outside of that little circle?
So no, and unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of negative news that I hear about BYD is from the Epoch News, NDT, China Observer family of publications, anti-China publications, where so much is rooted in and lies. And I've had to make videos debunking their nonsense repeatedly. And every time I get people saying, well, yes, but China lies too. I said, that's great. They need to make a video about that. They're not. They're making videos about things that are absolute nonsense. So I don't know on that. I don't know who the podcaster was, but I'd be very curious to hear more about that later so I can help you understand what we're doing. In terms of AJ, I love AJ. He's got me blocked. AJ has blocked every member of the Rebellionaire crew. I don't see his posts anymore. I don't know what's going on. And it's unfortunate. He did message me to say it's nothing personal. And if you quit Rebellionaire, then I'll add you back in. But this isn't high school. I'm not doing that. So unfortunately, I don't have access. I could go dig for his information, but it doesn't appear to me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So how about, are we hearing any more about the production in the mega factory in Shanghai?
Not yet. No. Everything appears to just be on track. The beauty there is there's no import tariff on those cells. They're local. They're domestic. They're from down the street, and they're priced. It's the best price on LFP packs you can get in the world. So those will be another tremendous profit center.
Okay. All right. Well, let's come all the way around to factory number one, Fremont. Are you hearing anything about Fremont? Are they fully 100% back ramped up? What do we know?
So it's really tough to see from the air. I do watch, as you know, all the drone footage that comes out from all the factories. And what we're seeing isn't revealing. One neat development at Fremont is if you go out and look at the race track, you'll see these big, like 7 foot across white globes. And those are the Starlink high speed, high bandwidth connection domes that you can get for a fortune. And when I saw those going in, I couldn't believe it. But if you think of what an internet connection must cost for a facility with that many employees, that many terminals, that many devices, okay, I get it. It starts to make sense. And if you get even a modest discount, it could quickly become cheaper than paying the local internet utility to do it. So in terms of production, no, I'm not hearing anything, but I'm not sure that I would.
Okay. All right. Now, I know you did a video the other day on Lathrop, where apparently it looks like we're pretty close to full capacity.
Yes, full capacity can always squeak out this much more, and they do. If you look at the way megapacks are built, it's repetitive. So they just keep removing humans from the equation. And every time you do that, it makes it more reliable, more affordable, and it makes it so that you can run 24 hours more seamlessly. It's a lot easier to keep a place fully staffed when you don't need much staff. So is it fully ramped? It's Tesla fully ramped, which means you can always expect another % or 2 out of it.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, we go down to Texas. One of my big questions down in Texas is how is the next data center coming? Are we seeing the walls go up? I mean, where are we on that production, on that facility?
So I haven't looked at it this week since I've been on the road, but yes, it is going up very, very quickly because it is a single floor steel building. So that is, we might not see it starting to get equipped for another 6 months, but also because the power going in, they're putting in an additional new sub that while it is more or less done, that doesn't mean it can be electrified right away. And before you can power this place, you've got to find someone willing to put power into the grid because this consumes a lot. Like between the two phases of it, the first one at the south end of the factory itself, and this new one that's going in over by the die shop towards the northeast of the site, we're talking a small city's worth of power consumption. And while the grid does allow you to just take it, I mean, it's not quite that simple. Someone has to put it in somewhere and you have to pay for it.
Is there any evidence? Is there any evidence that they might be using the gas-fired propane or gas-fired what's wrong
turbines?
With turbines there as they have in Memphis?
So I don't think they will because they'd be too visible. And I think that is a bad look that Tesla would prefer to avoid. It would be easier for Tesla to simply put them somewhere off site and put them into the grid there instead. They do have the Gambit Energy program out in near Dallas. That's one place they could put them to just put some power into the grid that they could take back out a few hours away in Austin. I don't know. They could absolutely do that. I don't think that they're going to.
Okay. And then with regard to cars at Texas, we've got all kinds. I mean, the Texas factory eventually, I guess, will be making at least Model Ys, maybe Model Qs, maybe obviously cybercabs. It's making Cybertrucks. What are we seeing anything from the flyovers recently that would give us any hint as to any of those kinds of directions?
So no, but we know that in the past, out to the drone pilots and said, it is important that you do not fly on Tuesday at 8 to noon or whatever. And we know from those pilots that they never tell us when those specific windows are. So they will tell us that this has happened in the past. They won't tell us specifically. So it's very likely that they've been told windows of time in which to not fly, and they've just not flown and not told people like you and me. That's possible. I haven't seen anything that would tell me that that's likely. I'm still very curious as to where the darn thing is. And I've got a video coming up with you, if it's not already out, where I'm asking you that question. Where are my new models? So we'll find out. A lot of times, where they like to sometimes test them or do promotional videos is out at like airstrips. So, like they say, the best models are on the runway.
Oh, woo! Yeah, you had to work
Long
on
walk.
it. Huh? Yeah,
Long walk.
yeah.
I've been driving a lot. I'm a little tired, a little punchy.
Yeah, but I was trying to come up with anything, any kind of response. I mean, but it just left me so flat-footed that I was unable to do it justice. But there you go. All right. So, what have I left out? Have I left out anything important?
We don't know of any news at Buffalo, unfortunately, but it is my belief that Buffalo will at some point be making the mega chargers, the semi chargers, because we believe those will similarly be mass produced.
Right.
They will start with a few dozen and probably just put the design off to the side, waiting for the correct time to go into higher volume on that. The new mega factory near Houston, yes, Houston, I think that's going in, moving quickly. No visible evidence that it's going to be entering production imminently, but it is very similar in size and scope. It's a bit bigger than Lathrop, so it's on course. And the lithium plant has produced usable material, though not the sort of finished usable product that it will be making upon completion. And you can see, if you look at the drone footage of the Corpus Christi lithium refinery, that there is a whole section next to it where it clearly will be duplicated, where they will put in a second matching version of it right next to the first one, once the first one is all configured, dialed in, and sharpened up, I guess.
Well, that was news for me. I didn't know that. Very interesting. Yeah,
that's why you have me on.
I was thinking that maybe Elon needs to do an energy day. Sure, I'd like to hear a data or some kind of an AI day, but I'm thinking that he recently said we're going to go to 1 terawatt of production. Tesla themselves, so the United States another terawatt, and he says, but I want a terawatt too. And if he wants a terawatt, maybe we need a master plan just for that terawatt to understand how that's going to take place.
Yeah, maybe so. I thought it was that Tesla needed a terawatt of compute energy, but it could be that there was something after that I missed.
Okay, and that may be the same thing. It may be the same conversation, and maybe I've misunderstood. Maybe we're both. I don't know.
In the comments, folks, we are two confused old men.
Yeah, help us.
Won't you help us cross the street?
Please. He says on Father's Day. By the way, this will not be out on Father's Day, but Brian, happy Father's Day anyway.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that so? So have we concluded all of the things that you are well aware of around the world?
Those are the ones that stand out to me. We have no signs of progress from Mexico. India appears to be on hold indefinitely as well. That's what I got.
Okay, that's what you got. If that's what you got, that's all I can ask. How can I ask for more than that?
You have in the past so many times.
So be sure to follow Brian on, that future Ozza channel, whatever that even means. And then follow him around the country, around the world. I mean, where you need to have a puzzle, where is Brian? I mean, this is getting to be so confusing. But having said all that, follow him anyway. And then from me, I want to say it's been great talking to you.